You know, Feminist Frequency recently wrote an article, and as always, I completely agree with it. I'm going to word it a little differently than she did, but from the gist of it, as the title is going to be in this video, evil cannot comprehend good. Because, everyone loves to call her the new Hitler, or, the female Hitler, or whatever, all because she makes a scientific basis about how civilization would be a lot better if 90% of males were castrated. It would reduce crime, it would reduce violence, it would reduce rape, it would reduce all these qualities that have negative impacts on society. But rather than criticize it for a social structure, criticize it from the standpoint of, I don't think it would do as much good as you seem to think it will, people just go off on this tangent about how she's so evil and so diabolical. Oh no, Femitheist wants to take away our precious balls. Because God knows that's the only thing we have, isn't it? We sure as hell don't have our health, we don't have our financial security, we don't have our freedom of speech, we don't have freedom of anything, quite frankly, and we don't even have anything. We have literally nothing. And just because Femitheist makes this scientific analysis saying that there would be less violence and less sexual crime and less negativity as a whole if we castrated males, they want to get defensive because they figure that's all they have left is their fucking testicles, which they're not using anyway. So, this brings me to a much deeper issue about how, people love to condemn others for having ideas. See, like the way they do with me about how I'm so evil because I have violent rhetoric and hateful content. But meanwhile, they're fucking trolling my videos 24 hours a day. Mark Anthony loves to talk about me, and yet is on my videos all the time. Does he have a life? Does he have a job? I don't even know, because what time does he have to have a life outside of trolling my fucking comment section? And the irony of it all is that I believe in freedom of speech for him to be able to troll my comment section because he has a right to his opinion. But he doesn't seem to think I have a right to my opinion, and celebrates with glee every single time I am banned and raped. So, what we have here is just cognitive dissonance. We have here this, complete irrational behavior that, one person is wrong and another person is right, even though the person that's right is doing more wrong than the initial wrongdoer. To put it simply, you're going to condemn Femitheists for wanting to castrate males, but yet you turn around and say that people that commit rape should be reverse raped, they should be mutilated, they should be tortured, they should be imprisoned for life, they should be executed. All this shit. Femitheist isn't calling for that. Femitheist doesn't want to torture you. She doesn't want to execute you. She doesn't want to reverse rape you. She just says, this is the scientific method we could use to make society better. The same way I say there should be no moderators. I don't particularly want to torture anybody or hurt anybody. I just say we would be better off without moderators, without private ownership over the internet, so that we could circulate ideas and grow as a species. We could be better. And people have a problem with that. Because they like torture, they like evil, they like despicable qualities, they want the murder and the pain. Because if they didn't, why do they fight so hard to oppose ideas that try to make things better? Why are they so, ridiculous with the level of hate and insults towards myself, Femitheist, many others, when we are proposing a change in the societal structure? We are not particularly trying to look for a vendetta against an individual. In all of my videos, how often do I actually mention people by name? Not very often. I might occasionally name certain moderators over others, such as Moot of 4chan or Mark Zuckerberg, but these are more so examples than my own personal mission of vengeance. And that's the difference. But people don't want that. They don't want real justice. They don't want change. They don't want society to get better. They don't even want a better lives for themselves. They're evil and they're stupid. That's all I have to say.